In the dead of night, when the truth calls. One voice in the dead of night, when the truth calls.
Can hold him, no fear in his eyes. Jey Morales rising under blood-red skies. From twisted thoughts and secrets untold, he walks the edge where the brave and the bold speak of the stars, the lies and the dreams, chasing the lightning in a world torn at the seams. Do you feel it rise up? The fire in your veins. The truth is calling. Keeps his soul reborn. Between the madness and the peace he seeks, he finds a wisdom that the silence speaks. No script, no limits, just the raw and the real. Every word I have a hurting truth forged in steel. Sky is burning, the night's alive. Can you feel the power? It's time to rise. Jey Morales. Raising a fire from the underground. Jey Morales Unbound. Let the whole world hear that mighty sound.
From the deepest clouds to the battleground.
Jey Morales!
in the dead of night. But tonight, we're live, baby. Early. Not in the dead of night, but we're live early tonight. Welcome back, everybody, again to Unbound Season 2, Episode 27. This is the show where we cut through the noise, connect the dots, and break down the biggest stories shaping our world right now. I am Jey Morales, and as always with me, joining us tonight is my co-host, Revelation. How we doing, Rev? Welcome back for the 2-week hiatus.
Oh, I know. Well, beginning to think you, had been abducted.
Yeah, well, health issues, family things popping up. My life got a little busy, but we're back. We're back at it again. I'm glad to be here with you again, for sure. I know many people are going to be glad to see us again tonight. We are, like I said, we are a half hour early tonight compared to our original time. But, Jey Morales Unbound, where we put in a set time and then we move it up every half hour. But we're here tonight. Am I right, Revelation? We're here. We're doing it. We're here. Tonight, we got another packed episode covering major global conflicts, political shakeups, surveillance, controversy, economic debates, technological pressure points, and major cultural moments all happening at the same time across the world. We start with the Iran Daily Chronicle tonight from May 22nd to June 12th as the conflict shifts from open escalation into a tense diplomatic phase, with negotiations intensifying, maritime tensions in the Strait of Hormuz still unresolved, and Project Freedom evolving into a key piece of the global shipping response. Next, we break down the growing political firestorm in Washington as Mike Johnson comments on Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security reignite the long-running debate over entitlement reform, federal spending, and the future of America's social safety net. We also dive into the escalating backlash against flock surveillance cameras as communities across the United States push back against widespread license plate tracking systems, with debates intensifying over privacy, public safety, and whether these systems actually reduce crime. Then we look at the proposed Secure American Act, a massive $70 billion immigration and border security package aimed at expanding ICE and CBP operations, raising major questions about enforcement, surveillance, and long-term immigration policy. We'll also break down the rising concerns around AI data centers and water usage as expanding digital infrastructures collides with drought conditions and resources pressure in vulnerable regions across the country. On the global stage, we covered tonight also the explosive financial milestone surrounding the SpaceX IPO as markets react to one of the largest public offerings in history and Elon Musk's unprecedented rise in wealth and influence. And finally, we also will look at the early stages of the FIFA World Cup 2026, now underway across the United States, Mexico, and Canada, already shaping up as the largest and most globalized tournament in football history. From war diplomacy and meaning football, and by the way, when I'm meaning football, I'm meaning, soccer, but football because that's what, everybody else around the world call it. From war diplomacy and political battles to surveillance, technology, economics, and global sport. This week shows just how fast the world is shifting on everyday front. And now we're gonna get into it. Hell yeah, I'm excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna attack the Iran War Daily Chronicle from May 22nd to June 12th. Right now, Revelation, what do you got for me?
So before you say that, speaking of the Iran Daily Chronicle, we are the only ones to call it that.
I love it. That's why I came up with it. Iran Daily Chronicle.
There is Iran Daily, which is the official state-run news source of Iran.
Yeah.
And then there is the uh, Daily Chronicle, and then a couple other ones. But we are the only ones to call it the Iran Daily Chronicle.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
and we have been calling it that for the entirety of this news coverage of Iran.
I think that's why people have been coming in and looking it
Which
up on our thing,
deserves-
so it's really cool. Go ahead.
Which deserves one thing.
Success. Hell yeah. Oh, God. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad that you looked that up because I had a feeling we were the only people calling it the Iran Daily Chronicle, and it's been hitting. So it's really good to have that.
Actually, it deserves two things.
Heck yeah.
Hey,
It definitely deserves it. It definitely deserves it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're happy to be here. Again, Iran Daily Chronicle here with us on the Unbound podcast with Revelation and Jey Morales. You can butt in at any moment, Revelation. If you are interested to jump in and have more information about what's happened at the, for the Iran war. So we're going to start here. By late May, the Iran war has entered a dangerous new phase. The largest scale combat operation that began in February had already reshaped the Middle East, damaged military infrastructure across Iran, disrupted global shipping, and drawn the United States, Israel, and several regions actors into a conflict with consequences far beyond the battlefield. What makes the period from May 22nd through June 12th today especially important is that it marked the transition from a war centered on military strikes to a struggle over diplomacy, economic pressure, maritime control, and competing narrative about victory. As May drew to a close, the Strait of Hormuz remained one of the most critical flashpoints. The waterway through which a significant percentage of the world's oil supply normally passes had become both a military and economic battlefield. Iranian authorities continue to use restrictions and threats around the strait as leverage against the United States and its allies. While Washington sought ways to reopen shipping lanes without triggering a larger regional war, analysts noted that Tehran was increasingly relying on calibrated actions, small-scale attacks, threats, and demonstrations of force to gain negotiation leverage rather than pursuing unrestricted escalation. Throughout the late May, military incidents persisted despite growing diplomatic context behind the scenes. Iranian drone and missile activity continued to concern U.S. forces and Gulf allies. American and allied naval units maintain an extensive presence in and around the Persian Gulf, while neither side appeared eager to launch another major offensive. Both were determined to avoid appearing weak. This created a tense environment where even limited incidents carried the risk of reigniting broader combat. Meanwhile, negotiations accelerated through intermediaries. Reports indicate that various proposals were moving between Washington and Tehran through diplomatic channels involving third-party states. The central issues remain largely unchanged. The future of Iran's nuclear activities, sanctions relief, access to frozen Iranian assets, security guarantees, and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. However, the political realities on both sides complicated progress. American leaders wanted concrete concessions before lifting pressure, while Iranian officials insisted that any agreement must acknowledge what they portrayed as their successful resistance against foreign military pressure. One of the most discussed developments during this period involved the continuing debate over what constituted victory In Washington, officials emphasized the extensive damage inflicted on Iran's missile system, drone facilities, military infrastructure, and strategic capabilities. American leaders argued that the campaign had significantly weakened Iran's ability to threaten regional stability. Yet critics pointed out that key objectives, including permanently resolving concerns about Iran's nuclear program and fully curtailing Iran regional influence, remain incomplete. Iranian leaders, meanwhile, presented a dramatically different narrative. Officials in Tehran argued that Iran had survived months of military pressure, maintained influence across the region, and forced the United States into negotiations. State media emphasized resilience and portrayed diplomatic discussion as evidence that Iran had successfully resisted foreign demands. This battle over public perception became almost as important as military operations themselves. Analysts observed that information warfare increasingly shaped how each side communicated development to domestic and international audiences. By early June, military activity had become more selective but had not disappeared. Intelligence assessments suggested that Iran was continuing to use limited force and strategic signaling while seeking better negotiations terms. Incidents involving drones, maritime security, and regional proxy forces kept tensions elevated. Although a large-scale offensive appeared less likely than it had weeks earlier, the possibility of miscalculation remained a serious concern. The conflict had entered a phase where diplomacy and military pressure were operating simultaneously. As June progressed, reports emerged that in negotiations were getting closer to a framework agreement. Discussions reportedly focus on reopening maritime traffic, reducing sanctions pressure, establishing verification mechanism. Hopefully, I'm saying that mechanism, and creating a pathway for future talks on nuclear issues. However, substantial agreements remained. The United States continued to insist on strict conditions related to Iran's nuclear program and regional activities. Iran, in turn, sought guarantees that sanctions relief and economic benefits would be delivered before making irreversible concessions. On June 11th, optimism and skepticism existed side by side. President Trump publicly suggested that significant breakthrough was near and even announced the cancellation of planned military strikes because negotiations appeared promising. Financial markets reacted positively, and oil prices fell as investors anticipated a possible end to one of the year's most disrupted conflicts. Yet Iranian officials simultaneously cautioned that no final agreement had been reached, emphasized that several major disputes remain unresolved. By June 12th, now the situation stood at a crossroads. Sources reported that both sides had agreed on a draft text and were moving closer to a formal agreement, while other reports highlighted continuing disagreements over implementations, details, the Strait of Hormuz, sanctions, and nuclear restrictions. American officials suggested that the likelihood of a deal was high, though not guaranteed. Iranian leader publicly claimed they had achieved many of their strategic objectives. Israel remains dissatisfied with several aspects of the negotiation, was not directly involved in the emergent agreement. The war that had begun with airstrikes and massive and missile attacks now appeared to be approaching a diplomatic turning point, though no final peace had yet been signed. We're going to talk about Project Freedom updates as between June 12 and 11. The U.S.-led initiative designed... Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're missing something.
Am I missing something?
Check your messages.
Check your messages. The problem is that if I check my messages, they're going to see the messages.
Yes. Just read your messages, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan says deal is close. Key mediators, Pakistan has said a final agreed upon text of a U.S.-Iran deal has been reached reached, though there was no immediate confirmation from the U.S. or Iran. President Donald Trump earlier pushed back at Iranian reports about the deal's contents. Iran weighs agreements. Iranian officials said the final stages of internal deliberation were on the way, as sources tell NBC News. The final missing piece of a sign-off from the country's supreme leader. Drones shut down. Tensions remain high around the Strait of Hormuz, where 2 Iranian drones were shot down last night, U.S. officials said. Iranian media reported that its military had stopped a tanker from passing through the strait. The threat to Karg Island, earlier yesterday, Trump said the U.S. would at some point seize Karg Island and take total control of Iran's oil and gas industry, although he later pulled back. Yes. And that's the update. You should have just read it.
Well, you were on a roll, so
I was on a roll.
Interrupt your momentum.
I was on a roll. What do we got here? Oh yeah, Project Freedom. Updates as of yesterday and today, June 11th to today, June 12th. The U.S.-led initiative designed to escort and protect commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz remain one of the defining operations of the conflict later stages. Originally announced in early May as humanitarian and maritime security efforts, the operation sought to help stranded merchants and vessels navigate the increasingly dangerous waterway while reducing the economic impact of the conflict. However, Project Freedom faced significant challenges. Many shipping companies and insurers questioned whether the operation could provide sufficient protection against Iranian threats. As a result, commercial traffic through the strait did not immediately return to normal levels. Several maritime firms remained cautious, preferring to wait for a broader political settlement rather than rely solely on military escorts. By June 11 and June 12 today, Project Freedom role had evolved. Rather than serving as a centerpiece of a military response, it had become part of a broader strategy aimed at reopening maritime commerce through diplomacy and deterrence. Reports indicate that reopening the Strait of Hormuz was a major component of the emerging U.S.-Iran agreement. If negotiations succeed, Project Freedom may transition from an active escort operation into a contingency mission designed to ensure freedom of navigation while normal shipping patterns gradually resume. In many ways, Project Freedom reflects the larger story of the war itself. Sorry about that. What began as a military effort to secure strategic waterways increasingly became tied to negotiations, economic recovery, and the search for a political endgame. Whether it is remembered as a successful maritime operation or merely a temporary bridge towards peace will depend on what happens in the days ahead. Now, ending discussions. Has either side truly achieved its objectives in the Iran war, or are both governments attempting to claim victory for political reasons? Number 2, should Project Freedom be considered a successful operation if it helped create conditions for negotiations, even though shipping traffic never fully returned to normal during the conflict? And number 3, if a peace agreement is signed, what issues is most likely to threaten the deal in the future? Iran's nuclear program, regional proxy groups, or control of the Strait of Hormuz? Let us know in the comment section, which I see that it's hot tonight. Shout out to everybody that's always here.
It's definitely the proxy groups. Because like I said before, the only way to get rid of those proxy groups, get rid of Iran's current leadership. The old statement, if you want to kill the snake, cut off its head.
Yep.
And currently those proxy groups is the body. And the head is, you know, is the leadership. You gotta get rid of those proxy groups. Only way to get rid of them, get rid of the IRGC, its generals, and, well, I would say the Ayatollah, but he's planning on stepping down, which just leaves the current leader of the IRGC, and they're already planning on taking over, which is not going to be a good thing.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's going to be a
Because they
good
don't
thing
give a
at all.
shit about the civilians at this point in time.
No, too many people have died, man. Too many children.
That's the whole reason
women,
we're there.
men. You bet.
We told them, hey, stop slaughtering your civilians. We told them 3 times, and they're like, well, yeah, another 10,000 will do. And we're like, well, fuck it, time to bomb you.
Right.
Like,
You got a point.
it wasn't because we just didn't like them. No, it was literally because we warned them 3 times not to just go around killing your own civilians. The reason why we were in Iraq the fucking first time, like, and I want to say what? Maybe the 90s? No. The second time is when we warned them not to go around killing the civilians. That and WMDs. There were like 2 reasons. First one was the whole don't kill your own civilians. Pretty much, don't kill your own civilians is one of the main reasons why we don't like a certain area. Middle East doesn't really take the whole don't kill your own civilians very well. They just do it because they want to. Anyways, let's move on.
Well, that's true. That's the facts there. Now, we're going to be talking about the debate over Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, and why Mike Johnson's comments sparked a national conversation. One of the biggest political debates in America today is not about foreign policy, immigration, or elections. It is about 3 programs that millions of Americans depend on every day: Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. In June 2026, House Speaker Mike Johnson brought renewed attention to the issue when he stated that these programs, quote, have to be adjusted and fixed, and suggested that Republicans would pursue reforms in the coming year. His remarks immediately sparked controversy across Washington and reignited a debate that has existed for decades. For supporters of reform, Johnson was simply acknowledging a reality that many economists and budget experts have been warning about for years. For critics, however, his comments raised concerns that future changes could lead to reductions in benefits for retirees, disabled Americans, and low-income families. The reaction highlighted just how politically sensitive these programs have become. To understand the controversy, it is important to understand what these programs do and why they matter so much. Social Security, created in 1935 during the Great Depression, provides retirement income to millions of Americans. It also offers disability benefits and support for surviving family members of deceased workers. For many retirees, Social Security is not just supplemental income, it is their primary source of financial support. Without it, poverty among older Americans would be significantly higher. Medicare, established in 1965, provides health insurance for Americans aged 65 and older, and as well as certain individuals with disabilities. Before Medicare existed, many seniors struggled to afford health care or obtaining insurance at all. Today, it serves tens of millions of beneficiaries and remains one of the most popular government programs in the country. Medicaid, also created in 1965, provide health care coverage to low-income Americans, including children, pregnant women, people with disabilities, and many elderly individuals who require long-term nursing home care. Unlike Medicare, which is primarily age-based, Medicaid eligibility is largely determined by income and financial need. Together, the three programs form the foundation of America's social safety net. They help ensure the seniors can retire with dignity, vulnerable families can access health care, and disabled individuals have financial and medical support. However, all three programs face growing financial pressure. The primary challenge is demographics, Americans living longer than ever before, while birth rates have declined. As a result, the number of retirees is increasing while the numbers of workers supporting these programs through taxes is growing uh, growing more slowly. This imbalance creates financial strain that policymakers from both parties acknowledge must eventually be addressed. According to government projections, Social Security's fund reserves. Sorry, let me say that again. According to government projections, Social Security trust funds reserves could be exhausted within the next decade if no changes are made. Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund faces similar long-term concerns. Neither program would disappear entirely because payroll taxes would continue to generate revenue, but benefits could face reductions unless Congress acts. This is the context in which Mike Johnson's comment emerged. Johnson argued that the mandatory spending program, including Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, represents a significant portion of the federal spending and contribute to long-term debt challenges. He stated that the programs need to be adjusted and fixed, but did not provide detailed specifics regarding what reforms he supports. That lack of detail became the center of the controversy. Supporters interpret his remarks as a call for responsible planning before the program reach a financial crisis. They argue that making gradual changes now could prevent more dramatic action later. later. Potential reforms often discussed by policymakers include reducing waste and fraud, increasing efficiency, adjusting the benefits for higher income recipients, raising the retirement age for future retirees, or modifying tax structure that funds the program. Critics, however, worry that the phrase fixing entitlement programs can sometimes serve as a political language for benefit reductions. Advocacy groups representing seniors, healthcare recipients, and low income Americans express concern that future reforms could make it harder for vulnerable populations to access benefits they depend upon. The political challenge is enormous. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are among the most popular government programs in the United States. Millions of Americans either receive benefits today or expect to receive them in the future. Any proposal involving changes to eligibility, taxes, or benefits immediately generates strong reaction from voters. The debate also reflects broader questions about the future of government spending. The national debt continues to grow, and lawmakers face competing priorities ranging from defense spending and infrastructure investments to education and healthcare. Some policymakers argue that entitlement reform is necessary to maintain long-term fiscal stability. Others contend that preserving benefits should take priority, even if it requires higher taxes or additional government borrowing. At its core, the conversation is about balancing promises made to current and future generations. Americans have spent decades contributing to Social Security and Medicare through payroll taxes, with the expectation that benefits will be available when needed. At the same time, younger generations face concerns about whether the program will remain financially sustainable without reforms. What happens next remains uncertain. While politicians often discuss entitlement reform, major changes have historically been difficult to pass because of the program's popularity and political sensitivity. Yet experts generally agree that delaying decisions make future solutions more difficult and potentially more painful. Mike Johnson's comment did not create the debate over Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Sorry about that. But they reminded Americans that the issue cannot be ignored forever. Whether the solution involves spending cuts, tax increases, efficiency reforms, or a combination of approaches, the future of these programs will remain one of the most important policy questions facing the nation in the years ahead. Now, my ending discussing questions, ladies and gentlemen. When politicians talk about fixing Medicaid, and Social Security, what do you think that should mean in practice? Number two, should preserving benefits be the top priority, even if it requires higher taxes or increased government spending? And then number three, which approach is most fair for future generations, raising taxes, reducing benefits, increasing the retirement age, or using a combination of reforms? Let us know in the comment sections, ladies and gentlemen. Revelation, what do you got?
As somebody due to a medical condition is on some of those programs, I can tell you that there definitely does need to be reforms, not like cuts or anything, because that system is very flawed. Um, because I have gotten notices saying, "Oh, hey, your payment is getting increased," and then opening the very next letter in the pile saying, "Oh, your payment is getting decreased because you owe us money." So yes, it is a very flawed system, needs reforms. So I can see potentially where he's coming from, but at the same time, I can't see where he's coming from. Like, he needs reforms, not cuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not something. It's a double-edged sword. You either completely remove the whole entire thing, which would screw people entirely, or you fix it and, hope that you got it right and you've saved a bunch of money, or like, it's, you, you just gotta do something about it right now.
Right.
It's been going on too long. Like, because I remember like 15 years ago hearing people complain about that crap, and it's just been nonstop. Oh, I've been getting shafted because of this, and uh, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know. Definitely shouldn't have cut it though. I was reading the thing. 170 some million Americans. I want to say the percentage is like 70% of, like 70 or 72% of Americans, that is. Or some wild ass percentage like that. And their whole, but I don't get it, is their whole defense is for trying to keep it is to ensure the safety of our future generation. I'm sorry. Why would our kids need, our, like if we're on fucking SSI or SSD and whatnot, why would our kids need that? Like, it's not like it's our inheritance that we're giving them. Like, that's kind of a dumb reason to try and keep it.
Right. What does she got for us?
That was what was off of the article I was reading on Yahoo.
Ah,
Like
okay.
that was from a bunch of senators that was their the inheritance thing was like their main like defense trying to keep it, which I think is dumb.
I think it's dumb too. Well, we're gonna move now, ladies and gentlemen, to hopefully I fixed the image a little bit. I look really red on the live. We're gonna move now to, and also this last topic that I we were talking about. I had you the whole time on the screen. Nobody saw me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move now to the next topic. Flock cameras under fire. Why Americans are tearing them down. Well, they're tearing down all the surveillance now, ladies and gentlemen, of the flock cameras. A growing rebellion against surveillance technology is unfolding across the United States, and at the center of the controversy is a company called Flock Safety. Go ahead.
Uh, I will be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, production.
So I will actually be unsharing or I will be turning off my camera. You continue with what you got to do though.
All right, no problem. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta make sure that I leave this like that so we can see Rev whenever he comes back. Again, let's start all over. A growing rebellion against surveillance technology is unfolding across the United States, and at the center of the controversy is a company called Flock Safety. Its automated license plate reader cameras, commonly known as flock cameras, have spread rapidly across thousands of communities and are used by police departments, neighborhood associations, businesses, and local governments. Supporters call them powerful crime-fighting tools. Critics call them one of the largest surveillance networks ever deployed in everyday American life. In 2026, the debate escalated dramatically. Uh, Across multiple states, flock cameras have not only been challenged in city council meetings and courtrooms, they have been physically removed, vandalized, spray painted, cut down, smashed, and disabled by unknown individuals. At the same time, some cities and counties have begun suspending contracts, shutting cameras off, or reconsidering their use altogether amid growing concerns about privacy, government oversight, and data sharing practices. To understand why emotions have become so intense, it is important to understand what the cameras actually do. Flock cameras are designed to capture images of passing vehicles and automatically record information such as license plate numbers, vehicle make, model, color, distinguishing features, and the time and location of travel. The data is stored in a searchable database that law enforcement agencies can use during investigations. According to police departments that use the technology, the camera have helped recover stolen vehicles, locate wanted suspects, investigate crimes, and assist in missing person cases. On the surface, that sounds like a straightforward public safety tool. But for many Americans, the concern is not what the cameras can do today, it is what they could do tomorrow. Privacy advocates argue that the technology creates a massive surveillance network capable of tracking where people travel and when they travel and how often they visit certain locations. While the cameras generally focus on vehicles rather than faces, critics say the information can still reveal sensitive details about a person's daily life. Regular trips to medical clinics, religious institutions, political events, or private residence can potentially be reconstructed through vehicle movement data. As the camera network expanded, concerns expanded with it. Civil liberty organizations began questioning who has access to the information, how long the data is stored, and whether the public truly understands the scope of the surveillance. Some communities raise concerns about information sharing agreements between agencies and whether local data could eventually be assessed by organizations or government entities that residents never intended to support. Those concerns intensified in 2026 when reports emerged about disputes involving data sharing policies and broader surveillance practices. Several communities began reviewing contracts with flock safety, while local officials face increasing pressure from residents demanding greater transparency and oversight. What makes the current controversy different from previous debates over surveillance technology is that opposition is no longer limited to public meetings and political activism. Across multiple states, flock cameras have become targets. Cameras have reportedly been cut down from poles, damaged, spray painted, dismantled, and destroyed. In some areas, entire camera installations disappeared overnight. Law enforcement agencies have investigated many of these incidents as criminal acts of vandalism and destruction of property. For some opponents, these actions represent resistance against what they see as an unchecked surveillance. Others view the destruction as counterproductive and illegal, arguing that concerns about privacy should be addressed through democratic processes rather than property damage. Even many critics of flock cameras do not support vandalism. Instead, advocate for legal challenges, public oversight, and local government actions. Meanwhile, some communities have chosen official routes to remove the cameras. Several municipalities across the country have voted to terminate contracts, suspend physical covered cameras, while local officials reconsider policies governing surveillance and data access. One of the most important arguments in the debate centers on whether flock cameras can actually reduce crime. Supporters frequently point to success stories involving stolen vehicles, wanted suspects, and criminal investigations that benefit from licensed plate reader data. Police departments often cite examples where cameras information provided leads that help solve cases more quickly than traditional investigative methods. Critics, however, argue that solving crimes and reducing crime are not the same thing. While flock safety and participating law enforcement agencies frequently highlight arrests and investigations, there remains limited independent evidence demonstrating that widespread camera deployment consistently lowers overall crime rates. Researchers studying automatic license plate readers and surveillance system have found mixed results. Some studies suggest reductions in specific categories such as vehicle theft, while others show little measurable impact on broader crime trends. This distinction has become central to the controversy. Opponents argue that flock cameras have clearly demonstrated an ability to gather information, but they question whether sufficient evidence exists to prove the technology significantly prevents crime from occurring in the first place. Every day, millions of vehicles movements are recorded, creating a vast databases of public travel information. Critics contend that communities are being asked to accept extensive surveillance without clear proof that it delivers proportional public safety benefits. Supporters counter that deterrence is difficult to measure because crimes prevented never appear in official statistics. They argue that the ability to identify suspects quickly, recover stolen vehicle, and assist investigations creates a safer environment even if precise crime reduction figures are difficult to calculate. The disagreement reflects a larger question that extends far beyond flock safety itself. Throughout history, new surveillance technology have often been introduced during periods of public concern about crime and security. Supporters typically emphasize safety and effectiveness, while critics warn about privacy, oversight, and potential misuse. The debate surrounding flock cameras follows this familiar pattern, but on a scale that many observers believe is unprecedented because of the speed and size. Sorry about that. The speed and size of the network's expansion. As of June 2026, the battle over flock cameras have become about much more than a license plate reader. It has evolved into a national conversation about technology, privacy, law enforcement, civil liberties, and the relationship between citizens and government. It is it is sorry. At its heart lies a simple but difficult question: how much surveillance should society accept in changes for increased security? For supporters, flock cameras represent a valuable modern tool that helps police solve crimes and protect communities. For critics, they represent the growth of a surveillance infrastructure that collects enormous amounts of information about ordinary people while offering limited proof that it reduces crime on a larger scale. The answer may determine not only the future of flock cameras, but also how Americans respond to the next generation of surveillance technology still waiting on the horizon. My ending discussing questions. Hope Revelation heard any of that. Should communities accept widespread surveillance technology if it helps solve crimes, even when evidence of overall crime reduction remains mixed? Number two, is collecting large amounts of public travel data a reasonable trade off for public safety, or does it go too far? Should decisions about surveillance technology be made by law enforcement agencies, elected officials, or directly by the communities being monitored? Let us know in the comments. Brad, what do you got?
Okay, so from what I was reading is obviously, like we already know, they can be used by police, but also private businesses and HOAs, which are the work of the devil.
I hate HOAs.
Honestly, I think that having the police use them, perfectly fine. Makes sense for them using them. What the hell does a private business need a traffic reading like a plate reading camera for? They have security cameras. Like, come on now. And for the love of God, what does an HOA need it for? You're only allowed to drive like 25 max down some of those roads. Like, hey, like you can just stare at somebody's plate, and chances are you've seen that car, and it's like, oh, that's Jim, who I've given like 75 write-ups to because his grass isn't green and his 0.003 centimeters too tall every Tuesday when the all the planets are aligned and the moon is a shade of blue too good, like fucking, like they don't need it. Like, come on now. So the police makes sense. Like, having a plate, having something to be like, oh well, dude in a red Mustang going like 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. We don't really need to go after him because we're responding to a domestic dispute. We have his plate. We can just pull up on his house and be like, hey buddy, here's your traffic ticket for speeding because we caught you. Come pay it. Makes perfect sense. Or somebody kidnapped somebody. We saw, they get a report. I saw them yoink some girl into a gray, utility van with like some logo on the side. All of a sudden, traffic camera picks it up. Oh, does its job perfectly normal, ends up leading to an arrest. makes perfect sense for the police to use it.
Oh, right.
Like some people are a little too worried about some stuff. Like I understand I don't like government overreach, but sometimes you got to look at it from a justified perspective.
There's a little reminder. There's 3 pounds of copper and there's gold in it. You do what you want with that information. Moving along now.
Yeah, and also just a daily reminder that if you're going to take off a catalytic converter, you want to take a saw that is about that thick.
This
And
fucking,
what you want to do
you're gonna get us
is
banned.
is you want to cut about an inch in
Oh
front
my
of it.
god.
And then you want to kindly return it to its owner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on before they cancel the shit out of us here on the Unbound podcast. The Secure American Act, ladies and gentlemen, is a $70 billion push to expand ICE and CBP operations. This is the new topic right now that we're going to be hitting. A sweeping new immigration and border security proposal known as the Secure American Act is drawing national attention as one of the largest enforcement-focused funding packages in recent years. Valued at approximately $70 billion, the legislation is designed to significantly expand the capabilities of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, with funding intended to extend through the remainder of the current administration and beyond. At its core, the proposal reflects a long-running political debate over how the United States should manage immigration enforcement, border security, and interior compliance. Supporters describe the plan as a necessary modernization of federal enforcement systems, while critics argue it would dramatically increase the scale of immigration policing without addressing underlying causes of immigration. According to supporters of the bill, the Secure America Act is intended to strengthen border infrastructure, improve detention capacity, and expand technology systems, and increase personnel for both ICE and CBP. The funding would reportedly be used for upgraded surveillance equipment, additional patrol resources along southern border, expanded air and maritime monitoring systems, and improved data integration between federal agencies. Proponents argue that these investments are necessary due to increasing immigration pressure, transnational criminal network, and the growing complexity of border enforcement. Excuse me, real quick. A significant portion of the funding is expected to go towards CBP operations of ports of entry and between official crossings. This includes technology upgrades for inspection systems, additional staffing to reduce processing delays, and expanded tools for detecting illegal crossings and contraband. Supporters say these changes would improve efficiency while enhancing national security. For ICE, the proposal is expected to emphasize interior enforcement operation. This could include increased funding for detention facilities, transportation logistics for removals, and expanded investigative capacity targeting criminal organizations involved in trafficking, documenting fraud, and illegal employment networks. Advocates of the bill argue that stronger interior enforcement is necessary to support border security efforts, stating that enforcement does not end at the physical border. However, the proposal has sparked immediate concerns among immigration advocacy groups and civil liberty organizations. Critics argue that the increasing ICE and CBP budgets at this scale risks expanding detention populations, intensifying deportation efforts, and increasing the reach of federal immigration enforcement into local communities. They also raise concerns about oversight, accountability, and the potential for misuse of surveillance and enforcement tools. Some policy analysts note that large enforcement budgets often raise questions about effectiveness versus impact, while supporters of expanded funding argue that stronger enforcement deters illegal immigration and improves national security. Critics argue that enforcement heavy approaches do not fully address root causes such as economic instability, violence, and global displacement trends. The debate often centers on whether increased. Wow, give me a moment. The debate often centers on whether increased funding leads to measurable improvements. Man, I can't speak English right now. Improvements in border outcomes, or primarily increases enforcement activity without long-term structural change. Another major point of contention is the long-term scale of the funding. Because of the $70 billion package is designed to extend beyond a single administration, critics argued it could lock in enforcement priorities for years to come, regardless of future policy shifts. Supporters counter that long-term funding is necessary to ensure continuity in continuity in borders security strategy, man, and avoid disruption caused by changing political leadership. The proposal also reflects a broader shift in how immigration policy is being framed in national politics. Rather than focusing solely on border crossings, modern enforcement discussions increasingly involved technology systems, data sharing, and coordination between federal, state, and local agencies. The Secure American Act is seen by some as part of this evolution, expanding not just manpower but also digital infrastructure and surveillance capabilities. As debate continues, lawmakers face competing pressures, demand for stronger border security on one side and calls for humane immigration reform on the other. The Secure American Act sits directly at the center of the divide, and its future it will likely depend on whether policymakers can agree on the balance between enforcement and reform. At this stage, the proposal remains a focal point of political negotiations rather than finalized law, but its scale alone signals how central immigration enforcement has become in the broader national policy conversation. Now, by ending discussing questions, does increasing funding for ICE and CBP actually improve border security outcomes, or does it mainly expand enforcement operations without solving root causes of migration? Should immigration policy prioritize enforcement funding or invested in legal immigration processing and humanitarian systems? If the Secure America Act were passed, what safeguards should exist to ensure accountability and prevent misuse of expanded enforcement power? You let us know in the comment section. Revelation, what do you think? $70 billion to fund ICE and CBP for generations to come.
I mean, if you look at what's going on now across the world, like just in the past few days with like immigrants in other countries, like, have you heard about that shit? What happened in Ireland?
Something happened in Ireland?
Yeah, dude, so an Irish dude, right? Fucking got held down on the ground by a African immigrant. And the African immigrant tried cutting his head off Um, but he was stopped because a bunch of Irish people bum rushed the dude. Like, and then and then a couple other countries, a bunch of stuff happened. Like, so you see why, like, like countries are now being like, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should start kicking these people out and focus more on our own people. So now I'm not saying, hey, get rid of all illegal immigrants, but maybe we should start looking more at like vetting. Like, hey, did this person, before we allow them in, has this person had a history of any mental illnesses, or have they committed crimes in their country? If the answer is yes to either of those two questions, they are not allowed. And if they're already in the country, they have to be deported. Like, and I think with the current state of funding they are in, I don't think that's a thing that they can do right now.
Right.
Like, they're struggling to just kind of have, like, to do their day-to-day operations. Like, especially with all the people joining up. I don't know what was the other one that you mentioned, the other group? I don't think I've heard of that.
I don't know where it is now. The
Yeah,
CBP, the ICE.
yeah, I honestly, we all know what ICE was. I was talking about that. I don't know what the CBP is.
The CBP. It's right here. Wait. Why is it not showing me? It is U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Oh, okay, yeah. They definitely needed that funding. Like, you don't want you don't want to know if somebody like sneaks something in on a boat or something like that. Like brother, that's some nasty work.
Right.
Because I believe sometimes they worked with the Coast Guard uh on because if Border Patrol, like Customs and Border Patrol, is like, oh hey, we think so and so is running a smuggling operation from insert area into the U.S. They'll inform Coast Guard once they come into U.S. waters. Coast Guard intercepts them.
Yep.
Like, kind of like that. So both of those groups needed funding. I believe they also fall under Homeland Security.
Oh, really?
Yes. Which was a while ago when they didn't want to give Homeland Security a lot of like any funding at all. And so people just weren't showing up to work during that whole entire fucking like fiasco. So
crazy. Okay, where are we at now? We almost there? We are almost there, I think. Let's see. Oh my god. Two more after this one. So we're going to talk about AI data centers and the water crisis, powering the digital age under environmental pressure. So the rapid expansion of artificial intelligence has triggered a new wave of infrastructure developments across the United States and globally. Large-scale data centers designed to handle massive computing workloads. These facilities are now essential for cloud services, AI model training, and streaming platforms, financial systems, and digital communications. But also their numbers grow, so thus concern over their environmental footprint, especially their use of water. Um, the conversation around AI data centers and water use has become increasingly prominent in regions already facing drought stress, such as the American Southwest, parts of Texas, and other semi arid areas. At the center of the issue is a simple but important question: how much water do these facilities actually use, and what impact does that have on local water systems? Uh, Data centers generate enormous amount of heat due to continuous operation of high performance servers. To prevent overheating, many facilities rely on cooling systems. Some of these systems use air based cooling, while others use water based methods, including evaporative cooling or hybrid systems that combine water and air technologies. Water based cooling can be highly efficient in certain climates, but it can also consume significant volumes of water depending on temperature, humidity, and operational load. As AI demand grows, so does computing intensity. Training large AI models requires vast computational resources, which increases in energy consumption and cooling demands. This has led to an expansion of hyperscale data centers, large facilities operated by major technology companies that centralize computing infrastructure. In some cases, these facilities are being built in regions where land and energy are available, but water resources are already under strain. This intersection has raised concerns among local communities, environmental groups, and policymakers. Critics argue that even if data centers are not largest overall water users in a region, their impact can still be significant in specific watersheds or during peak drought conditions. Because water systems are localized and finite, additional demand uh, from any major industrial user can influence availability, pricing, and long term sustainability planning. At the time, industry representatives emphasized that water usage varies widely across different types of facilities. Newer data centers increasingly use water efficient cooling technologies, closed loop systems, or recycled wastewater instead of freshwater sources. Some companies have also committed to becoming water positive, meaning they aim to replenish more water than they consume over time through conservation and restoration projects. Research on the broader impact of AI infrastructure shows a more complex picture than simple cause and effect narratives. Studies indicate that while data centers do consume water directly and indirectly, including water used in electricity generation, the largest share of regional water demand in most areas still comes from agriculture, municipal use, and existing industrial activity. However, data centers are among the fastest growing categories of water and energy demand, which makes their long term impact a growing policy concern. The water debate surrounding AI infrastructure is not only about consumption but also about location. Building large scale data centers in arid or drought prone regions increase the importance of sustainable planning. Infrastructure coordination and transparency is reporting water usage. In response, some local government have begun requiring environmental impacts disclosures or negotiating limits on water use as part of the development agreement. What makes this issue particularly complex is that it sits at the intersection of two major global trends: increasing digital dependence and increasing environmental stress. AI systems require more computing power, which requires more cooling and energy, which in turn can place additional pressure on local resources. At the same time, digital infrastructure is now essential for economic activity, communication, healthcare systems, and national security. As a result, the debate is less about whether AI centers should exist and more about how they should be designed, where they should be built, and how their resource use should be managed. The future of this issue will likely depend on technological innovation, regulatory policy, and regional planning decisions that balance digital growth with environmental sustainability. Ending discussing questions. Number one, should AI data centers be required or publicly disclose their water usage, environmental impact in detail? Number two, how should communities balance the economic benefits of data centers with concerns about water scarcity and environmental stress? And number three, are technological improvements is cooling and efficiency enough to offset rising demand from AI growth, or will stricter regulation be necessary? Let us know in the comment sections, ladies and gentlemen. As always, Rev, what do you got?
Um, I personally think the whole entire thing was just weird. Like, because I don't know a damn thing about the whole AI data centers except for, like, you know, the whole they put out massive amounts of heat and require tons of water. Like, I saw this one picture. This person's like, oh, well, um, I have a great idea since, uh, they were, since data centers are going to be the future, why don't we put them in the one place that has so much, open space, uh, and can keep them cool via the air? Let's put them in Antarctica. And one person's like, oh yeah. And in 10 years, they'll just completely fall into the ocean because they've melted Antarctica, and they'll also have raised the sea level 10 feet and ruined like almost every single continent. It's like some people just don't think. And I saw they wanted to place one like in like a kind of like almost a skyscraper version. Well, not necessarily a skyscraper, but like a tall building type version, and place it in Central Park. And I'm like, that's never gonna happen. One, because I think Central Park is like a historical area, so they just wouldn't allow that, and the heat would like like damage tons of houses around the area, and there's not a lot of water in that particular area of New York.
Yeah, they were trying to put it right by Central Park, right?
Yeah, at least that was their whole idea.
Yeah.
It was just on paper. Like, I don't know. It's just the whole idea baffles me. That people can just be like, yeah. I think they're dumb.
Hey.
I don't even know what they do other than like AI server.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like it's not a computer center server. Like, because those are useful. AI servers are just, are they generative AI, or are they like what?
It's part of the brain, I guess. It's part of the brain of the
So
AI.
it's all AI.
Yeah,
Like,
I believe that all those AI data centers are all connected because it's just one brain. We're just expanding the brain. That's all we're doing. It's an entity. If you saw what I posted on, if you guys saw what I posted on Facebook today, I said AI is not called AI no more.
Because you
AI
figure
now is called an entity. All right.
there's the AI that has been being used forever to create things, and now there's this weird dumb AI that nobody likes because it makes can't even make a proper picture. But oh, hey, create this picture. Somehow creates a person that's got like 6 fingers and 3 eyes and 2 toes. And
Right.
it's like, oh, thanks. I wanted a cool picture, and you just made some in super mutant from Fallout 4. Like, and then there's like some like experimental AI that they're working on for like in like robots and shit. And I guess that's what they're all these data centers are supposed to be used for, is for like and like for all of them to run off of, which is stupid. Like computer servers like centers have been don't even put up all of that. Look at how long we've had fucking computers and everything for.
Right. That's the facts. Well, getting off AI and coming now to the next topic of Elon Musk and the SpaceX IPO, the moment he became the world's first trillionaire today. Uh, Today, the global financial markets witnessed one of the most historic events in modern economic history. The initial public offering of SpaceX, long considered one of the most valuable private companies in the world, SpaceX finally entered public trading in what analysts are calling the largest IPO ever recorded, raising tens of billions of dollars and immediately reshaping global wealth rankings. From the moment trading began, demand for SpaceX shares surged unprecedented levels. The company debuted a valuation of roughly 1.7 to 2.3 trillion, depending on early market fluctuations, driven by massive investors' interests in its dominance of rocket launches, satellite communications, and its expanding role in global space infrastructure. Within hours, shares spiked significantly above offering price, intensifying market incitement and volatility. As the valuation climbed, attention quickly turned to Elon Musk's ownership stake in the company. Holding a significant percentage of SpaceX equity, Musk's network rose sharply alongside the stock's performance. Financial outlets reported that as as shares surged, his total wealth crossed the 1 trillion threshold, making him the first person in history to reach trillionaire status on paper. The milestone immediately sparked global debate. Supporters of the valuation pointed to SpaceX unprecedented technological dominance. The company has transformed reusable rockets technology into standard industry model, drastically reducing uh, reducing launch costs and expanding access to orbit. Its Starlink satellite network has also become a major global communications infrastructure system, providing internet access in remote regions and supporting government, military, and commercial operations worldwide. Investors argue that SpaceX is not just a space company; it is becoming fundamental infrastructure for the modern digital and aerospace economy. Critics, however, argue that the trillionaire label reflects market hype as a much as real value. They emphasize that such wealth is largely on paper, tied to volatile stock prices rather than liquid assets. Some economists also question whether SpaceX valuation is justified, pointing to heavy capital expenditures, long-term profitability, uncertainty, and the speculative nature of future projects such as Mars colonization and orbital data infrastructure. Beyond the financial milestone, the IPO also intensified concerns about power concentration, with SpaceX now publicly traded. Its influence extends deeper into global markets, defense contracts, satellite communication systems, and the internet infrastructure. Some analysts warn that tying such critical systems to a single corporate entity, and especially one so closely associated with its founder, raises questions about oversight, regulation, and geopolitical leverage. Meanwhile, retail and institutional investors rush into the stock, hoping to capture early gains from what many described as a historic opportunity. Early trading saw extreme volatility, with rapid prices swings reflecting both enthusiasm and uncertainty about long term performance. Despite the controversy, the IPO marks a turning point in both finance and technology. SpaceX has officially transitioned from private aerospace disruptor into publicly traded global infrastructure giant. And Elon Musk has become the symbolic face of a new era in which technological dominance and extreme personal wealth are more tightly linked than ever before. Whether this $1 trillion milestone proves stable or temporary remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the SpaceX IPO has permanently reshaped how markets, governments, and the public view space, wealth, and power in the 21st century. Ending discussion questions about this. Number one, does Elon Musk's trillionaire status represent real economic value, or is it mainly a reflection of stock market speculation? Number two, should companies like SpaceX, which control critical global infrastructure, be publicly traded or more tightly regulated like utilities? And number three, does extreme wealth concentration help accelerate innovation, or does it create too much influence in the hands of a single individual? Let us know in the comment section, as always, ladies and gentlemen. Rev, what's your thoughts?
And you know how much I want to be like a trillionaire, like be worth $1 trillion. Not to have $1 trillion, but to be worth 1 trillion, because you have a lot more money when you are worth a certain amount of money. Like that's got to be wild, man. Like
That's
if home
that is to
if
die and not worry about nothing.
yeah, if homie literally drops like $1,000, and he just keeps walking because he literally earns. He can walk 2 steps, has another 1,000. Like he literally can sit and eat half a Subway sandwich and a bag of chips, and he could have made as much as that store does in like 3 hours. Like that's absolutely wild. Like I would love to have that much money, or like again that much, the ability to
Now, do we
be worth
know?
that much.
Now, do we know somebody else that is a trillionaire? He can't be the actual first trillionaire. There has to be a
No, he
trillionaire
is the
somewhere.
world's first trillion.
Well, trillionaire. Send me the
Like
money, Musk.
I believe the person that is next in line is Jeff Bezos.
Send me the money. Sponsor the show. Sponsor the show.
Like
Sponsor the show, Musk. Sponsor it. What are you waiting
yeah,
for?
tell me about it.
Yeah. Send us something generous. Come on.
Yeah,
All right. We're gonna finally move. I think this is the last topic, right? Is it
yeah,
this the last topic? Yeah.
because we all know that we want, in the wise words of Pink Floyd, money.
Money. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my god. Ah.
Here comes the money.
Oh god. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Here comes the money. Hell yeah, dude. That's gonna be Musk walking around just like just like Vince McMahon. Oh god. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move now to our last topic of the night before we pass it over to our good friend Revelation. We're going to talk about the FIFA World Cup 2026, the games that have been played so far, where to watch, and why this tournament is historic. The FIFA World Cup has officially begun across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, marking the largest edition of a tournament in history. Organized by FIFA, a world football's governing body, this expanded World Cup features 48 teams and 104 matches, making it the most ambitious global sporting event ever staged. As of June 12 today, the tournament is in its earliest group stage phase, with only a small number of matches completed since kickoff on June 11th. Opening fixtures included matches such as Mexico versus South Africa and other Groups A openers, followed by additional group stages, group stage games across all three host nations. With the tournament still in its opening stretch, no knockout matches have been played yet, and most teams are just beginning their World Cup campaigns. Blah, blah, blah. What makes this moment especially significant is not just the football itself, but the scale of the event. Matches are being played simultaneously across major cities in North America, which each host nation staging opening ceremonies and early group stage fixtures in iconic stadiums. The United States, in particular, is hosting the majority of the matches, turning the tournament into a month-long, continent-wide sporting event, often described as a festival of football. Broadcast access is also broader than ever before. In the United States, Fox and FS1 hold the English language rights, airing every match of the tournament. Spanish language. They're airing every match of the tournament, and then Spanish language coverage is also, it's also available through Telemundo and Universo, ensuring nearly complete free-to-air access for U.S. viewers. Streaming option.
Oh man!
Go ahead.
Who would have thought that the Spanish one would have been on Telemundo?
And Universo. Yeah.
Who would have guessed that one?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the U.S. also can get to watch that, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I mean, who would have guessed that? I mean, I would have thought that the Spanish one would have been on the Canadian channel.
Right.
Oh, could have seen the writing on that one a fucking mile away.
Ensuring, streaming options include platforms such as Fox Sports app, Fox One, YouTube TV, Hulu Plus, Live TV, Fubo TV, and Sling TV, many of which offer free trial access during the tournament window. This wide accessibility reflects FIFA's broader goal of maximizing global viewership across different regions. Public broadcasters in streaming platforms are providing free or low-cost access to matches, meaning fans can follow the tournament without needing traditional cable in many cases. In countries like the UK, Australia, and Canada, national broadcasters and streaming services are also carrying full coverage of the competition. But beyond schedules and viewing options, the 2026 World Cup carries historical weight. This is the first World Cup ever hosted by three countries simultaneously, the United States, Mexico, and Canada, spanning multiple time zones and regions. It is also the first tournament to expand from 32 to 48 teams, significantly increasing global representation and giving more nations than ever a chance to compete on football's biggest stage. This expansion has reshaped the competitive landscape, traditional football powerhouses like Brazil, Argentina, France, England, and Spain remaining favorites. But the larger field opens the door for emerging nations to make deeper runs than in previous tournaments. Analysts have noted that this format increases unpredictability, especially in the group stage, where more matches and more teams create greater chances for surprise results. Culturally, the tournament is also being viewed as a defining global event of the 2020s, with millions expected to attend matches across 16 cities and billions watching worldwide. The 2026 World Cup is positioned not just as a sporting competition, but as a global media and cultural moment. Opening ceremony, celebrity performances, and fan festivals are turning host cities into international gathering points for football supporters from around the world. In many ways, in the early days of the tournament reflects what makes the World Cup unique, a mix of national pride, global unity, and supporting unpredictability. While only a handful of matches have been played so far, the scale of attention already confirms that this edition is unlike anything before. As the group stage continues over the coming weeks, the tournament will begin to take shape, revealing which teams can handle the pressure of the expanded format, and which will fall early in one of the most competitive World Cups ever staged. Now, my discussing questions to by the way, tonight, right now, I think it's happening now. Maybe it's over. Who knows? But tonight, Revelation was the match with the United States against Paraguay. So we'll see who wins on that. Ending discussing questions. Does expanding the World Cup to 48 teams improve global football, or does it dilute the quality of the competition? Number two, should hosting rights of massive tournaments like this be shared across multiple countries, or does it create logistical unfairness issues? Number three, with near universal streaming access
4-1
now.
us.
What?
4-1 us.
It won? We won?
Yeah, 4-1.
4-1, ladies and gentlemen. United States won against Paraguay. Finishing up this question real quick. Number three, with the near universal streaming access now available, is traditional TV necessary for global sporting events like the World Cup? Let us know in the comment sections, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know a lot about football, but we know a lot about American football. I don't. I know Revelation does. Knows about American football. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment sections who you're rooting for. Again, the United States beat Paraguay tonight, 4-1. So, yeah, hell yeah. Real quick, while Revelation gets his stuff ready, let's hit us. We're gonna hit you with the.
I am just glad that the teams from all over the world are now finally finding
Success.
out that America has absolutely scorching temperatures. And obviously, they're not handling it very well.
Doesn't look like it.
Most
no.
of the European teams are they were not very happy on when they first arrived. I know England. They had to build what do you call it? Before they left, they had to build special like saunas to get used to the temperature, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, this is good. We're used to the temperature now." And when they got there, didn't take into the fact that there is humidity.
The humidity is what is gonna get them if they weren't ready for that.
I forget who was playing.
You can't even replicate it.
I forget who was playing in. I want to say either Tampa or Miami, one of the two. Not only were they complaining about the field, which rightfully so, they literally laid down like 15 hours beforehand. But they were saying it was so humid they couldn't even move properly. And I'm like, welcome to Florida, bitch. And so many other people from Europe were like, why were we talking bad about American food? Like there was a German dude went 4,000 or went 1,476 miles, I think was the last time he updated his Twitter, and was documenting every single place that he went and stopped and got food. According to him, the holy place is Taco Bell. And he got a Crunchwrap Supreme, I think, is what it showed. I forget what the side was. It might have been nacho fries and a Baja Blast. Yeah.
We want to send our real quick. I would like to send our support and our. I don't even know how to say it because I'm trying not to be disrespectful, but we're sending our support and our condolences now to Eddie Weber and his wife. Right now, they're going through a tough time. They're I think 19 or 15-year-old dog is having a terminally ill moment. So he's sitting by the side of their dog tonight because I think they're gonna have to make some decisions. Head up to Eddie Weber and the family. Nothing but support from us to you, sir. It's especially it's hard to go through. You know, for some people, their animals are their family. You know what I mean? There's their son or their cousin. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so we understand. We all been there, and we send you nothing but the best regards from the pups. But real quick, I'm gonna send us before we send us to Revelation. I would like to remind you guys to visit the Kayville Hotel and Tavern down in Kleinfeltersville, Pennsylvania. They're open from Wednesday to Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the weekend. They're open from 4 to 9 Wednesday and Thursday, 4 to 10 Friday, 12 to 10 Saturday, and 12 to 8 Sundays. Their address is located at 2647 Heidelberg Avenue, Kleinfeltersville, Pennsylvania. 17039 is the zip code. And for any questions or reservations, you can contact 717 and 717-949-8413. You can speak to Seth and Jamie, which are the owners of the Kayville Hotel and Tavern, and make sure you tell them that Jay sent you from Jey Morales Unbound. We also have Atlas Epoxy Floors located down in Milford, Connecticut. They travel anywhere across the country to do all your epoxy needs. You can contact Bradford Kelly, the CEO of the company, at 203-496-6386. Or you can also send him an email at brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com. They do garages, basement, patios, lobbies, countertops, you name it. Whatever you need epoxied, Bradford Kelly would do it for you. Again, any questions, contact Bradford Kelly at 203-496-6386. You can email him at brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com. It can also you can also visit his website at www.atlasepoxyfloors.com, ladies and gentlemen. Again, located down in Milford, Connecticut, but can travel anywhere in the country for all your epoxy needs, ladies and gentlemen. We also have Velocity Modern Classics, located down in 15 East Quintet Road, Cantonment, Florida, 32533. They do restorations if you got the money for it, because it is going to be a rabbit hole. But in reality, they get pre-production vehicles that they make it look a vintage old look. It's definitely worth it. Give them a call at 850-466-1810. They're open from Monday to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have sold it to high-profile celebrities. I'm going to be starting to get a little bit better at this of showing you guys who has been through at Velocity Modern Classics. It's been amazing. Shout out to Eddie Weber again. And before we move it over there, don't forget about this asshole right here, Producer Mike Presents, and the Jessup Show Legacy channel. We do a show called The Movement. We also, well, I don't, but there's another show that he does on Sundays. Producer Mike does on Sundays. It's called Walk. I think it's Wake, Bake, and Sake. Something like that, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. At 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. This man is getting ripped. All right? And that's what happens when you live in Vegas. That's what happens when you live in Vegas. So yeah, visit Producer Mike channel. We are on a couple podcasts there. You don't want to miss it. It's a good time, and a lot of new things happening soon. So make sure to come in and check us out. Without further ado, though, we will be passing it to Revelation.
So, no, I don't want to send this article myself. I already bookmarked. So, if any of you are a fan of candy or just Hershey's, well, I should say, if any of you are a fan of Hershey's or just candy in general, specifically if it's chocolate, they just brought back a fan favorite after 30 years. So, apparently they're called Hershey's Nuggets is, I guess, what the specific little thing is. And have earned a reputation as a grown-up candy bar. Which they're like this big. I don't know how it was a grown-up when you're just, a little bit bigger than the fun size. It says many chocolate fans will argue that nuggets are the best way to experience some of Hershey's most iconic flavors. That was certainly the case for one discontinued flavor, cookies and cream nuggets. I hated cookies and cream. I hate cookies and cream anything, but, that's my opinion. I will continue to read the article. First introduced in 1995, the Nuggets were created to follow the massive success of Hershey's Cookies and Cream Candy Bar, which quickly became one of the company's biggest hits of the decade. The bite-sized candies paired white chocolate, again disgusting, with crunchy chocolate cookie bits, and were a favorite of many before disappearing sometime in the 2000s. But even decades later, fans still consider them the peak cookies and cream treat. To be honest, nothing really beats the Nugget, not the Hershey's Kiss, and not the Hershey's Bar, one person wrote. Now Hershey's is bringing back the beloved flavor in a way fans didn't see coming. Last spring, Hershey's introduced a new series of nugget flavors called the Flavors of the World collection, inspired by desserts and favorite flavor combinations from around the globe. The collection debuted with 2 coffee-inspired varieties, caramel macchiato and cafe espresso, inspired by the flavors of an Italian coffee shop. The chocolates had previously appeared in a limited edition holiday assortment, but were offered in standalone bags for the first time, and both treats quickly racked up 5-star reviews. Now they're expanding the lineup with two more additions. The first is white cream strawberry flavored chocolate, which I actually think sounds really good. Inspired by the classic British berries and cream dessert, fans have already praised the candy's smooth melt, creamy consistency, and pleasant strawberry flavor. But the real headline here is the second flavor. You guessed it, cookies and cream. We'll admit it's a funny addition to a collection inspired by global flavors, considering cookies and cream feels like a distinctly American combo, but the flavors of the world lineup seems less focused on geography and more focused on celebrating beloved flavor inspirations, and no matter what, we'll take it. Does it have? Here's actual good information. Both the white cream strawberry flavored chocolate and cookies and cream varieties are available in 10-ounce bags for $9.99 exclusively on Hershey's website and Hershey's Chocolate World locations. Well, you can screw off. Why is it not in actual stores? So if you're one of the many fans who've been missing the original 90s nuggets, or you're intrigued by the new strawberry flavor, it might be time to place an order. This limited edition collection feel. Limited edition? Bruh. Come on now. And now you're going to make me actually order chocolate that is limited edition.
Chocolate limited edition.
These buffoons. Utter buffoonery. Okay, next article. So again, for fans of the brick variety named Lego and video games combined into one, yes, double whammy in one article. Lego's iconic Legend of Zelda set is retiring and quickly selling out. This from June 11th, and considering it's the 13th, you might want to jump on it if you don't have the Deku Tree 2-in-1. So I would suggest doing that if you are a Lego and Zelda fan all-in-one. Hold on, let me get rid of these ads so I can actually properly read this. So Lego's 2024 2,500 piece set based on the Legend of Zelda's Deku Tree is about to retire. So if you've been sitting on the fence about dropping $300 on the brick-based recreation, of Nintendo's famous talking tree, stop. No, 7-Eleven, I don't give a shit about a $4 chicken sandwich, although that sounds really tempting. Of Nintendo's famous talking tree, here's some extra motivation. The Great Deku Tree 2-in-1 set is largely sold out, and finding one is about to become much harder. Much harder, especially as the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time fever intensifies. Speaking of which, they are remastering that. So if you are also a video game fan, yes, they are remastering the greatest video game of all time, and I hate Legend of Zelda, and I hate Nintendo, and that is coming from a person that is saying that. Both Lego.com and the Nintendo Store are sold out of the Legend of Zelda Great Deku Tree 2-in-1 set, though a small number of physical Lego retail stores appear to have the set in stock. Retailers like Walmart and Barnes & Noble show the set in stock, and you should check your favorite local retailer if you've got $300 burning a hole in your tune pocket. See what they did there? With a remake of, again, it's saying, with the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the way. Why are they sending it again? I'm just going to skip over that. Oh, it's so news. It's in 2027. So there is an alternative to the Great Deku Tree 2-in-1 set as well. Lego and Nintendo released the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the final battle set, earlier this year. The 1,003-piece $130 set imagines the classic confrontation between Link, Zelda, and Ganon in Lego brick form and is readily available. But if you feel the need to turn to a tiny plastic recreation of the Deku Tree or Sage Advice, now's the time to buy. The set won't be around for long, and it sounds like the legend. I really, really don't want that $4 chicken sandwich, 7-Eleven, and I'm trying to read this article. I swear to God. The set won't be around for long, and it sounds like the Lego is completely done manufacturing. Nintendo, yes, you've told me this before. Well, Nintendo revealed almost nothing about its second re-release of the N64 Classic Adventure game. We're bound to learn more soon about what's changed in Young Link's reimagined adventure. Okay. 59 cents for a large, big gulp drink? Fuck yes. Okay, guys, new news. If you have a 7-Eleven rewards card, you can get a large, big gulp drink for 59 cents.
Oh,
and apparently a $4 chicken sandwich.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, that big gulp deal sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah, the gulp, yeah.
59 cents.
Yeah, that's worth it.
So bonus news right there. Damn, I saw that and I'm like, oh shit, that's a real good deal. It's a damn good deal. I didn't even caught that reference. All I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah, that is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
That is
a wrap.
all I got.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
You fool. You absolute buffoon. You think you can challenge me in my own realm?
Yeah, see, it told me I had to stop talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
Even if I wanted to have more articles, it told me to stop talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for tonight's episode of Unbound Season 2, Episode 27. Tonight we covered another packed week where global conflict, political debate, surveillance backlash, technological pressure, economic disruption, and major international events all collided at once. We started with the Iran Daily Chronicle from May 22nd through June 12, 2026, as the conflict shifted into a more complex phase defined by diplomatic negotiations, maritime tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, and the evolving role of Project Freedom in stabilizing global shipping routes. We broke down the escalating national debate over Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, triggered by White House Speaker Mike Johnson comments on entitlement reform and long-term federal spending challenge. We also examined the growing backlash against flock surveillance cameras as communities across the United States push back against mass license plate tracking systems and rising concerns over privacy oversight and effectiveness. We covered the proposed Secure America Act, a $70 billion immigration and border security package expanding ICE and CBP operations. Sorry about that. In the political divide surrounding enforcement-heavy immigration policy. On the technology and environmental front, we looked at the debate over AI centers and water usage, and how expanding digital infrastructure is increasingly colliding with resource constraints in drought-prone regions. We also broke down the global reaction to the SpaceX IPO milestone as markets respond to one of the largest public offerings in history, and the broader implications of concentrated technological and financial power. And finally, we covered the opening phase of the FIFA World Cup 2026, already shaping up as the largest and most globally watched tournament in football history. From international tensions and domestic policy battles to surveillance, technology, economics, and global sport, this episode showed just how interconnected and fast-moving the world has become. Now, before we let you go, I want to take a moment to highlight two important issues: mental health and domestic violence. These affect millions every day, but help is available. If you or someone you know is struggling with stress, anxiety, or feeling overwhelmed, support is available. In the United States, you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Trained counselors are available 24/7. If you're experiencing domestic violence or need help, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for confidential support and resources. You're not alone, ladies and gentlemen, and reaching out is always a sign of strength, not weakness. Thank you for watching Unbound. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts below. Which story stood out to you the most this week? And we'll see you next time. Stay informed, stay aware, but most of all, stay unbound. I'm Jey Morales, passing it over to Revelation to say his goodbyes.
So, oh, disappeared there for a second. So, I hope you guys enjoyed every little tidbit of information that we gave you. Thank you for joining us. Hope you go and tell some more people, you know, if you enjoyed it, so that they can come and enjoy the little tidbits of information, you know, that we give every you know, Monday and Friday. And if you are going to work, be safe. If you're returning from work, sleep well. You know, thanks for joining, no matter where you are. The word for today is waffles. Fun fact about waffles: apparently every country does waffles differently. Some treat waffles as a lunch, some treat waffles as a dessert, some treat them as a breakfast. That is why the word is waffles.
In the morning,
Now,
I'm making waffles.
now, we are going to play you out.
One voice rises. From yachts to cosmos. Ride.
We hit the mic when the daylight dies. Let the whole world speak on blood red skies. Questions like thunder, cutting through the lies. Deep talks and revelations under stormy nights. From twisted thoughts and secrets never told, to the stars we chase in the world gone cold. One by one we take them, roaring unrehearsed, turning chaos into wisdom, truth into thoughts. We talked it out, we broke it down, from the heaviest doubts to unknown. We walk the air where few have gone. No scripts, no limits, just the war to real. Every question sharp and like to Leo Steel. Revelation rising, Jey set the tone. Turning quiet nights into epic thrones. We slowed it down when the world got loud. Gave the silence power, let the truth tell the ground. We touched it out, tore the veil away. Found the light where the shadows play. If you stayed until the final round, you were the crown of Unbound. Jey Morales Unbound. Shaking lines across the battleground. Jey Morales Unbound. From the deepest dark to the highest ground. No tears, no looking back. The voice of the night is on the attack. From the couch to the stars, through the smoke and the scars, we become who we are. In the silence between the questions
Thank you for your patronage.
lies the truth that sets us free. No fear, no taste, no looking back. Oh yeah! The voice of the light is on the attack.
Thank you for your patronage.
Oh yeah! Jey Morales Unbound. Let the heavens shake when you hear my sound. Jey Morales Unbound. From the underground earth, let it resound. Jey Morales Unbound. We've been lifting eyes all around. You can't stop that sound. When the truth comes crashing
Thank you for watching Unbound. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Drop your thoughts below. Which story stood out to you the most this week? We'll see you next time. Stay informed, stay aware, but most of all, stay unbound. This was Jey Morales Unbound, with his co-host Revelation on 67.6 FM. Good night.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah,